Hi everyone, welcome to this lesson where today we're multiplying polynomials. I have a ton of practice in this lesson video for you today, so I would suggest if you're copying down some notes for this lesson, don't copy down every problem, maybe try every other problem or every third problem. You can always go back and rewatch this lesson for all the examples that you may need, but you're going to see a ton of practice today, and actually I refer to it in this booklet as Multiplying Polynomials Madness because there's just so much. Not that we have to do a million problems to become experts at this skill, but the more we do, the better, of course, we're going to become, just like any other math skill. So here's what the basis of what we need to be able to know today when we're multiplying polynomials together. Each term of the first polynomial gets distributed to each term of the second polynomial. So if I say to you multiply x plus 2 times 2x squared minus x plus 3. So first of all, I'm multiplying a binomial, a 2-term poly, by a trinomial, a 3-term poly, and it says here each term of the first polynomial, so the binomial, gets distributed, so we know we're using the distributive property, and that means to multiply, to each term of the second. So if I look at this first polynomial here, this binomial, my x is going to get distributed to each term in the second polynomial. So the x is going to get multiplied to 2x squared, the negative x, and the 3. And so when I go to do that, x times 2x squared would be 2x to the third. Remember, you have a coefficient of 1 in front of this x, right? So 1 times 2 is 2. X times x squared is x cubed. Then x times negative x would be negative x squared. And then x times 3 is 3x. Now I need to take the second term of my first polynomial, 2, and distribute that to everything in the second. So now I need to distribute the 2 to everything in the second polynomial. So 2 times 2x squared, 2 times negative x, and 2 times 3. So I'm going to continue this on. So far I have 3 terms that I got from distributing the x. But now when I do 2 times 2x squared, I get 4x squared. 2 times negative x is negative 2x. And 2 times 3 is 6. Now, we've also previously learned that we want to make sure our final answer is in standard form and all like terms have been combined. Standard form means we go from the highest exponent to the lowest. So the highest exponent I have here is the 3, and there's nothing else with an exponent of 3, so 2x cubed is the beginning of my answer. Then I'm going to go with an exponent of 2. So I've got negative x squared and positive 4x squared. So if I combine those two terms, it's really saying negative 1 plus 4. So that's going to be 3x squared. Then I'm going to go to an exponent of 1. So a positive 3x and a negative 2x. When I combine those, I get positive x. And then 6. There's nothing to combine with the 6, and so it's just 6. Okay, so now I've got a ton of problems for you. So x plus 1 times x plus 2. So I distribute this first x. So I'm going to do x times x and then x times 2. So x times x is x squared. X times 2 is 2x. Then I'm going to distribute my 1. So 1 times x and then 1 times 2. So 1 times x is x. 1 times 2 is 2. My final answer would be x squared. I can combine a positive 2x and a positive x together and call that 3x, and then bring down my plus 2. And so that's my result, x squared plus 3x plus 2. Let's try this next one. So x times x, and then x times 6. So x times x is x squared. X times 6 is 6x. Then I distribute my negative 4. So negative 4 times x and then negative 4 times 6. So negative 4 times x is negative 4x. Negative 4 times 6 is negative 24. So now my final result is x squared. 6x minus 4x would become 2x, and then minus 24 at the end. Okay, next one here, x times x times negative 2. So that will give us x squared minus 2x, and then 8x, and then negative 16. I think you get the point of what I'm distributing out. Combine like terms. And there we go for that. Okay, you can see I have just so much practice here. X times x, x times -3, and then I have to do -7 times x, and then -7 times -3. So x times x is x squared, x times -3x is -3x, -7 times x is -7x, and then -7 times -3 is 21. Combine like terms, and I get x squared minus 10x plus 21. If you would like to try these last 4 problems, I would say pause right now and then press play when you're ready to see if you got them right. Okay, so hopefully you're pressing play right now because you paused and you tried them out. So here is the first one, the second one, the third, and the fourth. Okay. Let's take a look at some more binomials times binomials, except these are going to be a little bit different. We're going to find, so 4x times x, I'm just going to use my cursor here to kind of distribute. So 4x times x is 4x squared. 4x times 4 is 16x. Now I need to distribute the 1. So 1 times x is x. 1 times 4 is 4. Combine my like terms of 16 and x to get 17x in the middle. Ready? X times -2x is -2x squared. X times 1 is 1x. -9 times -2x is positive 18x. -9 times 1 is -9. Combine my two middle terms here to get positive 19x. Now I'm going to do the next 2 with you and then encourage you to do the last 4 as pause and practice play. So 6x times 2x is 12x squared. Okay, so that's going to start as 12x squared. 6x times -y is -6xy. Now let's distribute the 3. 3 times 2x is 6x. And then 3 times -y is -3y. And now notice none of these terms are like terms. I can't combine them. And you're going to see that pop up with a few extra problems down here as well, is that you don't have any like terms, and this is actually just our final answer. So let's take a look at another one like that. X times x would give us x squared. X times -8y would be -8xy. -5 times x is -5x. And -5 times -8y would give us positive 40y. So now I'm going to ask you to pause right now so you can try out these 4 problems and press play when you're ready. Okay, hopefully you're pressing play right now because you tried them out. And so I'm going to reveal and show you what these answers would be. The top 2, you definitely could have combined like terms. The bottom 2, you definitely would not have been able to combine any like terms. Okay, a binomial times a trinomial. So we still follow the same exact rule. That's what's so nice about the directions, is you distribute every term of the first polynomial to every term in the second polynomial. So the x is going to get distributed 3 times. And then my 1 is going to get distributed 3 times. So ready, if I start distributing my x times x squared is x cubed. X times x is x squared. X times 2 is 2x. Now I distribute my 1, and distributing the 1 is really easy because 1 times anything is itself. So then this becomes x squared, x, and then 2. And then remember, we combine our like terms in greatest to least order. So x cubed is first by itself. X squared plus x squared is going to give us 2x squared, right? So if I have 1x squared and another x squared, altogether I have 2x squareds. 2x plus x would give us 3x, and then the 2 is just simply at the end. Okay, next one, same idea. So x times x squared, x times x times -2. So that starts to become x to the third plus x squared minus 2x. Then I have to distribute my negative 8. And when I distribute my negative 8 to each one of those terms, negative 8 times x squared is negative 8x. Negative 8 times x is negative 8x. And negative 8 times negative 2 is positive 16. To combine like terms, again, my x cubed is going to hang out by itself. There's no other cubed. X squared and negative 8x squared combine to get negative 7x squared. Negative 2x and negative 8x combine to give us negative 10x, and then it's plus 16 at the end. Okay? If you want additional practice, I would try these two out and then press play when you're ready to check out your results. Okay, so hopefully you're pressing play because you tried these out. And so you can compare your work to mine. And usually what I would tell my students to do in the classroom with me, look at the final answer, of course. And then if you see something wrong here, then that's going to tell you the work is wrong. And the way you can check your work, guys, is remember the first 3 terms are from me distributing the 3x. So that's what these results are here. So check those answers with your work. And then the last 3 terms are from me distributing a negative 8. So what ends up happening, unfortunately, is if you have one piece of it wrong, the whole thing is wrong. So you really want to make sure that you are double checking your work. And then the same thing is true for this last problem. Again, you can check to see how you did. And then we are good. Okay. A trinomial times a trinomial, same process. This time, instead, after I distribute x squared to x squared to 2x, x squared to negative 1, in which I get x to the 4th plus 2x cubed minus x squared, I then need to distribute my x. So again, you're distributing every term from the first polynomial to every term in the second polynomial. So now x times x squared is x cubed, x times 2x is 2x squared, x times negative 1 is negative x. But now I have a third term. I have to go ahead and distribute that 1. So this is the first time where we're doing a trinomial that's getting distributed. And so you don't actually have 2 sets of arrows, you actually have 3. We're multiplying everything by 1, so that's always easy. 1 times anything is always itself. And now combining like terms. So x to the 4th is first. Now let's see, I've got 2x to the 3rd plus x to the 3rd. So that's going to be 3x to the 3rd. Then I'm going to go to my x squareds. So negative x squared, positive 2x squared, positive x squared. So these x squareds cancel each other out. So I'm just left with positive 2x squared. And then I have negative x and positive 2x. That would combine, to give me positive x and then just minus 1 at the end. Okay, so this same process here. So you would be distributing 3x squared times x squared, 3x squared times 5x, 3x squared times 1. And then we would be distributing the negative 2 all 3 times to get the third set of numbers, or values rather. And then lastly, you're distributing the 4 3 times. So you should have 9 total terms in your result. So of course, if you want to press pause right now and then check to see how you did. And then combining like terms. Okay. I know I drew over it a bit. If you want one more practice problem, you can totally take a look at this one. Again, press pause, copy this down, press play when you're ready. And then after doing all of that distributing, this is the result. Okay. Calculating area. So it says find the area of a square with a side length of x minus 3. So area formula for a square we know is side squared. If I was to substitute in this entire side length of x minus 3 in for s into my formula, this is what it would look like. Now, something to remember, what does it mean to square something? Squaring something means to multiply it by itself. So if I do x minus 3 and I square it, what I'm really doing is x minus 3 times x minus 3. Notice I didn't just distribute my exponent. You cannot do that here. You cannot do that with any kind of polynomial that's not a monomial. That only works for monomials. Okay, if you have a plus or minus sign inside of your parentheses, you cannot distribute your exponent. It will not work. But now we know how to do x minus 3 times x minus 3. We have to do x times x, and then x times negative 3. And then we need to do negative 3 times x, and then negative 3 times 3. So we are doing our repeated distribution. We end up getting x squared minus 3x minus another 3x plus 9, which becomes x squared minus 6x plus 9 units squared. Calculating area. Area of a rectangle with a length of x plus 2 and a width of 2x minus 4. So area formula is length times width. So I'm going to plug in my length and my width. And now remember, we're actually just applying what we learned. So I'd have to do x times 2x and then x times negative 4. Then I would distribute my 2. So 2 times 2x and 2 times negative 4. So this becomes 2x squared minus 4x plus 4x minus 8. Now, notice what happens here in this problem, a negative 4x and a positive 4x. You go to combine those, they just simplify each other out. So you're actually just left with 2x squared minus 8. And then it's units squared because it's area. Area of a triangle. So area formula for a triangle is 1/2 base times height. So I'm going to substitute in my base of x plus 4, my height of x plus 6. Now, whenever you have a situation like this, you always want to just carry on as normal. Do your double distributing. Okay, distribute the x, distribute the 4. And what we're going to do here is we're just going to hang out and leave that 1/2 on the outside. So look what I wrote here. I did 1/2 and then I did open bracket and then I just did this distributing. So x times x is x squared, x times 6 is 6x, 4 times x is 4x, and then 4 times 6 is 24. I'm going to go ahead and combine my like terms. And now I'm going to apply that 1/2. Now remember, the 1/2 only has to do with the coefficients. It has nothing to do with the exponents. So 1/2 times x squared is 1/2 x squared. 1/2 times 10x is 5x. And then 1/2 times 24 is 12. Okay, last one of this set. Find the area of a circle with a radius of x minus 1. So area formula for a circle, remember, is pi r squared. I'm going to substitute in my radius of x minus 1. Now, we saw this before, right? X minus 1 squared, just like up here, x minus 3 squared. What does it mean to square something? It means to multiply it by itself. So that means to do pi times x minus 1, x minus 1. We're going to distribute, do our double distributing. And I'm going to do the same thing where I put that bracket. So pi is going to stay outside. So then it becomes x times x is x squared. X times negative 1 is negative x. Negative 1 times x is also negative x. And then negative 1 times negative 1 is positive 1. Combine my like terms. And I could actually leave my answer like that. I could distribute the pi. I don't really need to. I could just say it's pi times that entire value. So the last thing I need to show you today is what it means to multiply 3 binomials together. So you have to, in essence, do 2 of them first. Okay, multiply 2 binomials together, get the answer, and then take that answer and multiply it by the binomial at the end. So, for example, you would have to take 2 of the binomials. You could start with the first 2. You could do the second 2. It doesn't matter. Okay, get that answer after doing your repeated distribution, but leave the other binomial there and say to yourself, okay, well, let me multiply these 2 first together, get my result, and now you're then multiplying a trinomial answer to this binomial. So the x squared gets distributed twice, the 2x would get distributed twice, and then the negative 24 would get distributed twice. So a lot of repeated distribution for sure. I'm going to kind of go quickly through this because now that process you understand. And so the same thing would happen here. I'd have to multiply my my two binomials together. And when I do x minus 7 times x plus 3, and then take that result and distribute it to x minus 3, the last binomial, to get my answer. I know there was so much in this video lesson. It was a lot. I know I went very, very quickly, but it's really so you could see as many problems as possible. I hope it was helpful for you. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.